Hello, I'm TJ Roberts, Chief Operating Officer for International Retail Group and Pop-Up Staffing. Welcome back to our channel, where we talk about all things retail. In today's video, we're going to talk about how we were able to open a brand new store, launch a brand into retail, but most importantly, how we were able to hire great new employees right out of unemployment that helped to launch the brand to success. If you are an existing store looking to hire new employees, or a store or a brand looking to open up your first retail space and hire people, this video is definitely for you. You've come to the right place, because we're going to talk about how to get through all those resumes. Resume overload, it's a huge problem right now. We're going to talk about how to make sure the candidate is the right fit for the job and doesn't just have the skills, but also matches who the organization is and what your goals and objectives are, and why you need to sell the job and not just rely on the job ad and the salary you post to do that job for you. You want candidates who match your brand's identity, the values of the organization, and share those goals with you. You want them to be ambassadors for your store and for the merchandise that you sell. People who don't follow this process end up with employees who just sit and text all day. We've all seen them. Or candidates who don't show up for interviews if you're still in the recruiting process. But most of what happens is candidates job hop. So you hire someone, they come in, they do orientation, they train with you, and the next thing you know, they're gone. We have operated in retail for over 20 years. We launched brands like Proactive, Revlon, Hess, 1-800-Flowers. We've even worked with Shark Damon from Shark Tank to launch some of his brands into retail. So we know a little bit about what we're doing. But what's most pertinent right now is we launched Barbell Apparel from being an online-only brand into physical retail in June of 2020, right in the middle of this crisis, and accomplished over 400% of our projected sales in that very first month with virtually no turnover. The holidays are right around the corner, so you're going to want to put into action what I'm talking about today right away. Unemployment around the country is still through the roof. We're all getting buried in these resumes with these way overqualified people for these entry-level positions, and you need to find the right candidates to make sure you're ready for the holidays whenever they start, so you can take your business from red to black like the holidays do for all of us every year in retail. So you're going to be able to, after this video, improve the way you look at resumes, be a little bit more strategic about how you talk to candidates and even what you're looking for whenever you review the resume itself. And I'm going to talk to you about building hiring profiles and how you use questions and look for the answers to those questions to find out not just what type of skills your candidates have, but ultimately who they are. To start off, let's talk about the job ad. Very important piece of what you're doing. Think of this as the marketing piece for the job. It is not copy and paste your job description, put it out on the web with a nice salary so that a lot of people apply to it. Because we both know what they're looking at is probably that salary right away, and apply. So many people are unemployed. It's completely understandable. You want to get an emotional response when someone reads your job ad, because you're really looking for someone who matches the spirit, the values, and the personality of your brand, so that when they're in the store, like I mentioned earlier, they are truly an ambassador for the brand and for the organization. The way you do that is a really smartly crafted job ad. You're going to have a few different types of documents that you put together whenever you're hiring. You do need a job description because you need to know what skills you're looking for and what qualifications you're looking for, and many of those, I put them in the job ad down towards the bottom. The top piece is really almost a creative writing piece. You're writing with emotion. You're talking about the identity of the brand, what the product is like you're selling, who the person is you're looking for, and who you are as an organization. People should be excited when they read that job ad to find out more about you. The first thing that's going to happen is you're going to stand out from every other job that's listed on whatever job site you're posting on, because most of them are just posting job descriptions. Here's the salary, click to apply. If you take the time to really embed the personality of the brand into that job ad, include information that gets them excited and tell them why they want to apply and who the person is they're looking for and what the long range objectives are of the organization, you're much more likely to find those candidates who are going to be with you for the long haul and who align with the values that you've described about the organization. And even if they don't, sometimes they will push themselves into alignment because they start off the interview with a really good understanding of what the job is and who you are. The next thing you're going to deal with are all these resumes. You post a job, and within 15 minutes, your inbox is full of resumes. I know we're all dealing with that. I hear it from people all the time that we work with. You need to leverage technology. Whether you're using Indeed or ZipRecruiter, Simply Hired, whatever else is out there, whatever platform you're using, they're going to have some type of native messaging. Use the messaging first. You want someone who's going to be responsive, someone who can follow directions, so that if you post out there the job opening, they reply to it, you reply to their resume, they read it, you ask them to do something. If they can't follow those directions, that's a great forecast of what they would be like as an employee. It tells you right away they're probably not the person for you, because regardless whether you're selling shoes or clothes or skincare, or you need a front desk attendant at your spa, you need someone who can read and follow directions. So use the native technology in the app. I like to use a scheduling tool. I embed a link right in there, ask them to click the link and schedule time on my calendar. Again, if they can't follow those directions, if they reply to me, if they try to call me without following the directions and booking with that link, I know right away they don't read, they don't follow directions, they're not the candidate for me. So it's a great way to let them self-eliminate. You really also need to build hiring profiles, something that not a lot of companies do. It's part of what we do that I think really makes us different, and why we find such qualified candidates and we eliminate people that someone else might choose. We do multiple levels of interview, but ultimately we understand the personality and who the person is who is successful in the jobs we hire for. We look at what the personality is of the organization, our values, the objectives, what the responsibilities are, the experience that is required to do the job. I'm not talking about preferred, but experience or at least aptitude that's required. And we use it like a checklist. Then once I have the hiring profile, I know what questions I need to ask, so I can identify if that candidate fits the profile. You can't do that with yes or no questions. You need to incorporate some tell me about a time type of questions, or questions that really challenge their mental faculties. Ask them some math problems. We have to do outreach in our store. We're a brand very successful online. We have a following here in the area. The store is open in Las Vegas, but we need to expand that, so we need outreach. So I ask the candidates questions about where they could go, how they would get there, and what they think the ROI would be on that type of an outreach. And I'm not necessarily looking for them to know the answer to a math equation. What I'm looking for is critical thinking. Do they fold whenever I give them a challenge like that? Or do they start to process data, look for answers and outcomes, and give me creative thoughts? That's what I'm looking for. So know that hiring profile, plan those questions, you know what you're going to ask, you know how you're going to ask it, but most importantly, you know why you're going to ask it. I very frequently talk to recruiters who have a list of questions they were given by HR, and they don't know why they're asking the questions. I call that checklist management or checklist recruiting. I just know I have to ask this question and that question, and at the end of the day, I leave with this gut feeling. Is it the right person or not? But sometimes you, as a recruiter, you may have great chemistry with a candidate, you laugh, you carry on, you have a great time, and you just assume anybody is going to love this candidate and their great personality. But what about the skills? What about the goals and the objectives of the organization, the basic expectations? Can they do the job? If you don't know the answers to those questions when you leave the interview, you weren't paying attention, you didn't ask smart questions, or you didn't know why you asked them. So make sure you go in with that type of a strategy already in place. The other piece that I talked about earlier that's so important, sell who you are, sell the vision. Is your organization going to grow? Do you know what your projections are next quarter or next year? Where are you taking this candidate? What's in it for them? What are they joining in on? What is nowadays social currency is huge, especially if you're hiring from the millennials. We all know that. So what is the mission of your organization? What are they taking part in? What positive difference are you making in the world? Sell the job, sell the long-term vision, get them excited to work for you. You don't want them to just be excited to collect the salary. You want them excited to be part of your organization, to do the job they're going to be doing, to make a difference. Everyone wants to make a difference these days. Incorporate that into the end of the interview. Make them feel so excited to know what the vision is and what the long term is that they're going to be following up with you in 2 days to find out if they got the job before you have a chance to get back to them. That's really what you want. Remember that your job ad is different than your job description. Use technology to quickly get through those resumes, the hundreds and hundreds of resumes. Use native messaging, use scheduling tools, plan your questions, know what you're asking, why you're asking it, and link that up to the hiring profile. And then remember to sell the job. Get the candidate excited so that they're following up with you and not just going right back onto Indeed and applying for 20 more jobs. You really want them excited to work with you. Maybe you keep doing things the way you have, and you know what? I see people and talk to them every day. They have constant turnover for the roles that they hire for. Every time they turn around, they're right back into human resources, asking for job ads to be posted. They're going through resumes, doing the interviews, and it's just an on and on and on and on, endless cycle. You have employees in the job that maybe they don't match the skills. Great personalities, which is cool. But maybe they don't match the skills, they don't have goals that align with the values of the organization. And, we see it all the time. There are employees in all these stores that are just standing behind the counter, text messaging, or they're on Facebook or Instagram the entire day, instead of interacting with your customers and helping to drive your business forward. These are not the things that you're looking for. If you implement some of what we talked about today, you immediately are going to save yourself time and find quality candidates from your resume list. You're going to know quickly whether or not they match the personality of the other people who've been successful in roles similar to what you're hiring for, because you have built a profile that matches those successful employees. And ultimately, you're going to build long-term relationships with people who can grow with you. You've got them excited about the organization. You've made sure they have the skills to do the job and be successful. We all take jobs because we want to do a good job. And they align with the goals of the organization and the mission that you have. I hope that was all really helpful. If there is anything I talked about in the video you're still unsure about, or you're not sure how to implement it in your organization and you'd like to talk about it in more detail, if you just scroll down below this video, there will be a link you can click to book time right on my calendar, where I'd be happy to invest more time and talk to you about how you can implement that in your organization, or how pop-up staffing can help you implement that. Again, I hope this video was very helpful. Hope you have a great day, a great holiday season, and we'll see you again on the next video.